Due to the graphic nature of this content, listener discretion is highly advised. If you guys have kiddos, please advise them to go to another room or listen with your headphones. Tonight's episode, Friday the 13th, 2023, is going to be the first podcast of the year, and we're going to be talking about Jack the Ripper. So, get your snacks, get your drinks, get anything you need, and let's get to it. Now we're filming, or recording, whatever the fuck you want to call it. What's up, guys? This is Odd Pods of the Odd Broad and the Odd Broad herself. And I'm joined by...
Nick Nitro. Were you really recording?
Just like a few seconds ago.
Oh, shit, wow.
So, wow. It's the first podcast of the year. Yay! First podcast of the year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
holidays.
Year. So, if you guys noticed, we kind of had a bit of a hiatus after what we stopped in November.
Yeah, it was November last.
Yeah, we were kind of feeling some of this shit we're looking up. So, things happen and work and being out of work. So, here's a quick little thing. Yours truly was in a accident. And towards the end of December, I hit black ice and my pony boy is ruined. So, yeah, there's that.
She went for a dive.
Shit, I was freaking out, dude. I ain't gonna lie, it was scary. Came out of it safe and alive, so
Yes.
that's the thing. That's a good thing that
Definitely.
I came out safe. Like my nose was kind of fucked. It still kind of hurts from that shit. I think I kind of I don't know. I don't think I fractured it, but still kind of hurts. It's like the sore part. Everything else went down. My black eyes went away. So tonight, my boys and girls, we're going to be talking about
Jackie the Ripper.
We all know he is a mystery all in one. Never been found, never been discovered. Although there were multiple suspects. So, let's just get this going. We'll let my brother take over.
An introduction to the Whitechapel murders. Jack the Ripper in 1888. Wow. Jack the Ripper murders occurred in the East End of London in 1888, and although the Whitechapel murderer was only a threat to a very small selection or section of the community in a relatively small part of London, the crimes had a huge impact on society as a whole. Indeed, by focusing the attention of the press and the public at large on the streets and the people of one of London's poorest and most crime-ridden quarters, Jack the Ripper, whoever he may have been, managed to expose the sordid underbelly of Victorian society, and in so doing, he helped create an awareness amongst the weather citizens of London of the appalling social conditions that have been allowed to develop largely unchecked right on the doorstep of City of London, the wealthiest square mile on earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the Whitechapel area of London. So, I actually had a chance, doing that people-to-people shit. If I actually did go, we could have checked it out. But I found out you had to be 18 and up to check it out, and I was 16 at the time, so I couldn't go anyways.
Oh shit.
Because, like I said, the graphic history or whatnot. So, here's another part of the website. A brief history of Whitechapel murders. One of the first problems you encounter when you attempt to write a history of the Jack the Ripper crimes is establishing just how many of the Whitechapel murders were, in fact, carried out by the killer who became known as Jack the Ripper. Although the exact number of victims most frequently bandied as around 5. It should be remembered that this was based upon a later statement made in 1894 by Melville MacNaughton. And this is not by any means a definite number. Indeed, the Whitechapel murders file, which is the generic file that encompasses the actual Jack the Ripper crimes, has the names of 11 victims of some of it, and some who were victims of Jack the Ripper, some of those who may have been, or several whom were not. The canonical 5. So, the canonical 5 is a aforementioned names most often put forward and often referred as the canonical 5 victims, as meaning having been murdered by the Rippers, are Mary Nichols, murdered on August 31st, 1888, Annie Chapman, murdered on September 8th, 1988, Elizabeth Stride, murdered on September 30th, 1888, Catherine Eddowes, murdered on September 30th, 1888, so that was a twofer, and Mary Kelly, murdered on November 9th, 1888. However, the file also contains names of 2 other victims who were murdered before Mary Nichols and whose body was found on August 31st, 1888. These victims was Emma Smith, who was attacked in the early hours on April 3rd, 1888. She later died of her injuries in a London hospital, and as a result, hers became the first name to appear in the Whitechapel murder file. Emma Smith was certainly not a victim of Jack the Ripper. Indeed, before she died, she was able to tell the doctor who treated her at the London hospital she had been attacked by a local gang. Martha Tambram, Jack the Ripper's first victim, maybe, possibly, could be. A few months later, on August 7th, 1888, the body of Martha Tambram was found in George Yard, a sordid thoroughfare that matter still leads off Whitechapel High Street. She had been subjected to a horrendous and very violent attack, which of course she had suffered 39 frenzied stab wounds to her throat, chest, and abdomen. Martha Tambram, also referred to as Martha Turner, may or may not have been the first victim of a criminal who later became known as Jack the Ripper. The case of her having been a victim is that her throat hadn't been cut and she had not been disemboweled, injuries that almost the canonical 5 victims would later endure. Evidence that suggests that she was a victim is that her killer had targeted her throat and abdomen just as Jack the Ripper would do with the 5 canonical victims. It is therefore safe to say that the jury is most certainly still out to whether or not Martha was a Ripper victim. Okay, your turn.
Some of the reasons for his infamy. Several factors combined to help this series of crimes famous all over the world. Not least amongst them was the fact that the newspapers of the day gave a huge amount of coverage to the crimes. Motherfucker, I was reading good. Where'd it go? My phone's a dick.
Technical difficulties, guys.
My phone's a dick.
This is an open podcast. We can say and curse as we please. Like I said, if you guys have kiddos in a room, please have them go to another room or put some headphones on. Give them the common courtesy. You know, they don't need to hear our potty mouths.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Like all
okay, here you go.
Hey.
Sorry. Okay, let's start all over again. And it disappeared.
Again?
Again.
Sing. And there's also a lot of different movies based on Jack the Ripper. So you do have different media forms to check out. While my brother's looking for his article, he actually have books called Dear Boss, Jack the Ripper, Leather Apron, Spring Hill Jack. There's a lot of stuff. And they actually have, since Jack the Ripper was infamous in UK and whatnot, in the US they had different various versions of it too. So, okay, you find it?
Well, since you read off the victims, I'll do the police hunt for the Jack Ripper, since I can't find this one. It totally blocked me out. I don't know where. Where in the world could it be? Okay, the Whitechapel murders were the focus of a huge criminal investigation that saw the Victorian police pit their wits against the lone assassin who was perpetrating his crimes in one of the 19th century London's most densely populated and crime-ridden quarters. As a result of official reports and the efforts of journalists to keep abreast of the progress, or perhaps more accurately, lack of progress, that the police investigation was making, we are able to watch that investigation unfold. Wow. We can analyze the methods that the police used to try and track the killer and compare them with the methods that the police would use today. We can also ask and hopefully answer the question, why didn't the police catch Jack the Ripper? The Victorian police faced numerous problems as they raced against time to catch the killer before he could kill again. A major one of the labyrinth-like layout of the area where the murders were occurring, made up as it was lots of tiny passageways and alleys, few of which were lit by night. They couldn't see shit, huh? Yeah, so they're just dark alleyways and whatnot. Okay, and of course, the detectives hunting the killer were hampered by the fact that criminology and forensics were very much in their infancy. An ever-growing list. Oof. Despite the fact that no one was ever brought to justice or charged with the crimes, there have, over the years, been more than 100 named suspects who may or may have not been Jack the Ripper. Some of those suspects are fascinating with lists, whilst others are downright ridiculous. Aaron Kaczynski, Thomas Cutbush, and Montague John Druitt are suspects that fall into the first category, whilst Prince Albert Edward Victor, the Freemasons, and Lewis Carroll belong firmly in the latter category. Yet one thing is certain, no matter how unlikely the names of those that appear on the ever-expanding list of suspects might be, the ongoing challenge of nailing the Ripper has helped keep this series of crimes at the forefront of criminal and social history for over 125 years.
That is insane. I mean, oh yeah, I heard about the whole Prince Albert thing because there was like supposedly let's say quotation marks conspiracy theory saying that Prince Albert actually was sleeping with one of the prostitutes and he contracted syphilis or some shit like that. But this is what the conspiracy theory ends up. It says because of the prince contracting that. Ooh, I'm on that site too. Yeah, and then they were okay, so this is one of the conspiracy theories is saying that it couldn't have been the prince because he may not know the anatomy of a woman, but a doctor. Maybe the queen knew about it and she told the doctor get rid of it.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe the fucking royal doctor did some dirty work for them back in the days. That's what I'm thinking. Who knows? Okay, so
he was an assassin.
Yeah.
They called him an assassin. I'm sorry. He wasn't, but they called him that. So.
Yeah, I mean.
You never know.
The suspects.
He knew what he was doing, who he was taking out.
So, the Jack the Ripper suspects. The number of Jack the Ripper suspects now runs well over 100. Some of them are highly possible contenders and the mantle of Jack the Ripper. Others are just downright. Yeah, you read that. So, the suspects. Oh my god. The lone assassin. I was like, this thing is funny. Because, we're in the Southwest, and every time we see Westerns, the lone assassin. So, wow. Okay.
Do letters from hell.
Letters from hell? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
You have one? You have it?
The From Hell letter received by George Lusk. The letter writer's threats. That's a fucking tongue twister altogether. A constant theme running through the Jack the Ripper correspondence is that the writer, who invariably was purporting to be the killer, would send body parts from one of his victims to the police. And in the initial Dear Boss letter had, for example, contained the threat, "The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers, just for jolly, wouldn't you?" However, the letters arrived in the wake of the original Jack the Ripper's missive contained only, among other artworks, crude drawings of female forms of jagged cuts, helpfully illustrating where the bodies of the author would make his incisions or mutilations. Mr. George Lusk in the press. But then in mid-October 1888, a letter arrived that actually made a good threat on the threat and an additional salacious suggestion that the killer had also indulged in cannibalism. It is added that an extra level of gruesome melodrama that to the Jack the Ripper mystery, but the butt of this particular prank letter was Mr. George Lusk, who was the president of the Mile End Vigilance Committee. Mr. Lusk had consistently been in the newspapers for the first 2 weeks of October on account of the vigilance patrol activities. In addition, he had also addressed several public meetings and had been actively soliciting the Home Office, urging them to rethink their stand on not offering a reward for information that might lead to the killer to be identified. The resultant press coverage had ensued that ensured that his name was consistently in the public eye throughout the first 2 weeks of October, and it didn't take long for a few of the East End's more unsavory characters to latch onto him and begin stalking him. The repulsive stranger. At 4:15 on Thursday, October 4th, 1888, a man who the newspaper reports described as having a florid appearance turned up on Mr. Lusk's foot doorstep. The stranger was about 5 feet 9 in height and was aged between 30 and 40. He sported a bushy brown beard and had whiskers and a mustache. Was it a Mobius? Sorry, I had to throw that in. He was told that Mr. Lusk was nearby at a nearby tavern that was kept by his son. So the man headed around the tavern and had located Mr. Lusk and subjected him to a barrage of questions about the beats taken on the members of the Mile End Vigilance Committee. Then he attempted to induce Mr. Lusk to enter a private room with him, but as the News of the World reported, the stranger's appearance, however, was so repulsive and forbidding that Mr. Lusk declined, but consented to hold a quiet conversation with him in the bar parlor where the two were talking, when the stranger drew a pencil from his pocket and purposely dropped it over the side of the table, saying, "Pick that up." Just as Mr. Lusk turned to do so, he noticed the stranger make a swift, silent movement with the right hand towards his side pocket. Seeing that it was a detective, assumed a nonchalant air and asked to be directed to the nearest coffee and dining rooms. Mr. Lusk directed him to the house of the Mile End Road, and the stranger quickly left the house, followed by Mr. Lusk, who went to the coffee house, indicated and found that the man had not been there, but had given up his pursuer by a slip of disappearing at the court. So he made him drop a pencil, make him pick it up, and he disappears. What kind of bullshit is that? Like old school ghosting. Yeah, you see me? No, you don't. On October 10th, another suspicious-looking man was seen lurking outside Mr. Lusk's house. Lusk reported the particular character to the police, who daily circulated the description of him. 2 days later, he received a letter that reportedly was written by a similar hand to that of the Dear Boss missive. The letter read, "I write you a letter in black ink, as I have no more of the right stuff. I think you are all asleep in Scotland Yard with your bloodhounds, as I will show you tomorrow night. I am going to do a double event, but not in Whitechapel. Go rather rue, too warm there. Have to shift no more till you hear me again. Jack the Ripper." George Lusk was doubtless becoming decidedly unnerved by the amount of attention he was beginning to receive from the more unsavory elements of the East End society. His nervousness no doubt increased when a taunting postcard arrived in the mail. "Say, boss, you seem very frightened. Guess I like to give you fits, but can't stop time enough to let your box of toys play copper games with me. But hope to see you when I don't hurry much. Bye-bye, boss." And a mysterious stranger inquires after Mr. Lusk. On October 15th, and Miss March was working behind the counter on her father's leather shop at 218 Jubilee Street, close to London Hospital, when a man dressed like a cleric entered. He was particularly interested in the Vigilance Committee reward poster that was displayed in a window shop, and asked her about the address of Mr. George Lusk. Miss Mush told him to look up the nearby Crown Pub, but the man told her he didn't want to go to a pub. She therefore got a copy of a recent newspaper, and he found a report that mentioned Lusk Street, but omitted his house number. She read out list, the man took it down in a notebook. According to Miss March, the man was a slim build, about 45 years of age, around 6 foot tall. He had a sallow complexion with dark beard and mustache. She spoke with what she took to be an Irish brogue. Mr. Lusk receives a letter from hell. Shortly afterwards, on October 16th, 1888, I keep wanting to say 19. A small package wrapped in brown paper bearing an indistinct London postmark was delivered to Lusk in the Evening Post. It was addressed to him by name and bore the name of the street, but not give his house number. The parcel contained a foul-smelling piece of kidney together with a letter in the handwriting that was written in the postcard Lusk received a few days ago. The letter read, "From hell, Mr. Lusk, sore. I send you half the kidney I took from one of the women. Parr saved it for you. To the other piece I fried and ate it. It was very nice. May I send you the bloody knife that took it out if you only want a while longer. Sign, catch me if you can. Mr. Lusk." What the fuck? I couldn't even read that. Just a sick joke. Lusk's initial reaction, aside from cringing from disgust to dismiss it, was just another sick prank. He presumed that the kidney was that of a sheep or another animal. His doubts notwithstanding, however, he sought the opinions of the Vigilance Committee members, including the committee's treasurer, Joseph Aarons. As it transpired, none of them shared his opinion that the grisly package was a prank. A medical opinion is sought. The general consensus of that they should speak to a medical opinion was that the kidney was taken to Dr. Frederick Wells' Mile End Road Surgery. Although Miles was not there, his assistant, Dr. Reed, examined the kidney and gave his opinion that it was human. So he got a fucking human kidney and he thought it was fake. Oh my god. This is crazy. And that's just like, oh my god. And like, there's like a whole long ass list of fucking, suspects. This is crazy. I mean, they have, but like, I know this is like the thing is because like if you look at the canonical victims, they all were like dismembered, but it looked like it was surgically done. Like, how did he know like to cut out certain parts, you know? So someone had to know how to do that. I mean, we all seen the media too. Like, there's that movie From Hell, the one with Heather Graham and Johnny Depp. They look for the Ripper. That was a good one.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
And then, like, just the giving or the telling of it just makes it like more, and it gives it more credibility because I think because of the doctor in the scenario. But I don't know if anyone were doctors in the list. Besides one of them, right? One of them was a doctor, I think. Neat. Dr. Barnardo. So he might be one. But that trips me about Lewis Carroll, though. The writer. Is that what Alice in Wonderland was all about? I mean, this is...
They say they have Jack the Ripper. Does a new genetic analysis finally reveal the identity of Jack the Ripper? Scientists claim it's the best evidence to date, but critics are skeptical. Forensic scientists say they have finally fingered the identity of Jack the Ripper.
So they fingered Jack the Ripper?
They fingered it. That's what it says. Finally fingered their identity.
Yes.
Notorious serial killer who terrorized the streets of London more than a century ago. Genetics tests published this week point to Aaron Kaczynski. Remember, he was already a fucking, what you would call it? He was already a suspect. A 23-year-old Polish barber and a prime police suspect at the time. But critics say the evidence isn't strong enough to declare this case closed. Wow. The results come from a forensic examination of a stained silk shawl that investigators said was found next to the mutilated body of Catherine Eddowes, the killer's fourth victim in 1888. The shawl is speckled with what is claimed to be blood and semen. The later believed from the killer. Wow. 4 other women in London were also murdered in a 3-month spree, and the culprit has never been confirmed. So that's kind of weird. They know he did one person, but not the other ones.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
This isn't the first time Kaczynski has been linked to the crimes, but it is the first time the supporting DNA evidence has been published in the peer-reviewed journal. You know what? I think maybe his shit was just on her because he had just got done doing her. Remember,
they were prostitutes.
So maybe he.
But this is another thing I found. Yeah.
You know what? It was semen, and you know what? Jack the Ripper didn't have time to do it.
He just
straight up killed him.
He just like went up and killed him. So this is one thing they found about it, like arguments about about maybe he's guilty, maybe he's not. But the thing is, Aaron Kaczynski was schizophrenic, delusional, paranoid, and incoherent. So he was kind of crazy. But not. I mean, it's in a sense like he was coherent enough to do the deed. Apparently, to function, but not to like fucking butcher somebody. That's fucking nuts.
So he was probably he was a John.
Yeah, he was just a John.
And he was a customer. And he was a lot. See, he wasn't connected to anything else, just that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
now that I'm looking at it.
He could have been, he could have been just in a John.
He was just a John in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep. Let me look up the other dude, the doctor. Hold on.
Poor guy?
For real, I know he's like, just gets blamed.
Finally figured it because Freddie got fingered over there.
Freddie got fingered and got. It has to be a doctor. I mean, I have a strong inkling that it was a doctor. Maybe he was infected by a prostitute, or maybe he has a hatred of prostitutes. We don't know.
Right.
I mean, you look at modern day serial killers, and the ones that go after prostitutes, they have a great hate for those, maybe because of of how they grew up, or they saw people around their neighborhood turning tricks. I don't know. You never know.
Right.
And there's like a trigger that pisses them off or some shit. So that's what kind of pushes that force out, So like, and look at the Craigslist killer. The guy who was killing all those hookers.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Craigslist and Backpage. And, like, I felt bad because like one of my friends, I knew her. I don't know where she is right now, but she was in Rhode Island and she used to fucking hook. And unfortunately, she was assaulted and robbed.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and she was lucky she got away with her life, And I hope she's doing better than how she was back then, because fucking A, dude, just seeing how she would literally put herself in harm's way just to get that bread and shit. But that was, her choice. No one put a gun to her head or nothing. She did it for herself. But yeah, I hope she's doing alright, But like, we used to tell her, be careful, because there's some crazy fucks like that. It's like during the whole Backpage killer thing.
Yeah.
Was like back east in Rhode Island, and that's where she was. So we're like afraid, we're fucking terrified, something might happen to her, but she actually turned out to be alright. So I don't know, she got off grid, and that was like the last time I heard of her. From her. And like, But like I said, these are like, me and my brother's opinions, the way we see shit, the way we see it, Even though we're reading this on the website, and it's just like, that's what their findings are, and this is what we feel like, who it might be.
I think they call him. I call bullshit on that. It wasn't that fucking Kosminski dude.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Because it has to, he was out doing shit.
He was out being a cat. He was being a tomcat playing, and he was doing his thing.
He didn't have time to bone him and take it off. He just later.
Right? Plus, like, how is a person with schizophrenia gonna do that shit? I'm sorry, but not sorry, but he's paranoid too. Yeah. So, like, what is like he just stabs her and takes off because he's afraid the cops are gonna show?
Right.
The Bobby and the lure, you're gonna pop out of nowhere. Oh, fucking ass.
Praying to Phantasma.
Like a fucking Lewis Carroll. Why would Lewis Carroll be a fucking suspect? Like,
they're just naming whoever.
This is like the greatest. I hate to say it, but this is the greatest crime no one's ever solved.
And they have to mention the Freemasons.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Prince Albert.
It might have been. I bet you, yeah. Had to have been.
I mean,
they're the ones who do that shit. They're the ones who take evil from evil.
Yeah.
Fight evil with evil.
I mean, come on, like, if you guys know, you know. Just saying.
I'm not saying the prostitutes were evil, but they do some evil stuff. The evil doer is gonna do the evil doer.
They got paid to do the evil doer. It's like, it's just like a crazy ass thing though. It's like the greatest, like I said, it's the greatest crime that has been committed, and no one can fucking solve who the person is. They're blaming a handicapped person for it, and like whoever actually did it is like dead and rolling in their grave. Like, yeah, I got away with it. This is like fucking nuts. What a way to start off our first podcast.
I know, right?
We're gonna be talking about a lot more shit too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be digging into the past.
Yep, get used to it, guys.
Pretty fun. I like it. I love it.
We might talk about beginning for February, I believe we're gonna should we do some stalker people?
Hell, we might even talk about my ex.
I'll talk about a couple of mine. They're fucking nuts in their own right.
Okay, we'll do some crazy shit.
Next week, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do it. Let's do something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have we have today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We're gonna do a whole 3-day weekend full of podcasts just for you guys to make up for lost time. So, this is like a great mystery that not even us can figure out, because no matter how we read deep into this shit too.
Kosminski wasn't.
He wasn't. It had to be a doctor. That's my thing. It had to be a doctor or someone from the fucking Masons. Or Freemasons, I don't know. This is like crazy.
Dr. Shaka.
Dr. Chocolate. If you guys know, you're groovy. I might be trying to find someone to make some stickers for us. Maybe. So if that happens, I'll let y'all know. So, till tomorrow, we're gonna look up some crazy ass shit. Maybe some murders that occurred over the weekend. Maybe some shit that happened in some part of the world. Who knows? Hulu's out. I got paid.
You wanna go up?
Yeah, I gotta fucking pay it. So, stay tuned, kitties. And we shall see you tomorrow. This has been Odd Pods of the Odd Broad. I'm the Odd Broad herself, and